I want my money, landlords. It's conversation that happens all the time with real estate agents, and we wanted to talk about it this morning because often you have a landlord that is fixated on a rental figure or fixated on speed. And it's actually two different styles of landlord, and there's solutions and there's ways to get the job done to make everyone happy that we're going to work through today. Good morning.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good, Charles. What's happening?
Wonderful, wonderful. No, not much. Just back from a bit of a COVID hiatus. Feeling good, feeling better than ever. Bit of a rocky start to the new year. However, that's what we do.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So today's officially your first day back.
First day COVID free, and I've just started my 3 months of freedom, I think is what they're calling it. And I'm ready to make it a smasher.
Far out. Were you double vaxxed?
I am, yeah. You don't have a choice.
How did it hit you?
Look, it was all right. It was just a bit of, I'd say, a normal flu for a few days. Took 2 days in bed, got my fluids up, and couldn't even tell. The last half of the week, it was terrible. I felt fine, didn't have a symptom, but was legally meant to stay indoors for 7 days, and I was driving my head. So I'm glad to be out. I'm glad to be talking with other people. And yeah.
There you go. So, mate, you want to have a chat this morning about we were talking off air before. Tell us about the landlord. I want my money, landlord.
So it's a bit of a sticky situation at the moment in regards to the rental market. Obviously, you've got agents out on COVID leave, as I was for the last week. You've got people going in and out of office due to holidays in this little January section. And
agencies are even closed. Some real estate agents have been open for 2 or 3 weeks.
The majority of agencies are still closed, coming back within the next week. We're going to be talking today about rental properties, what to do if you're a landlord. Your property's been on the market for a few weeks now, and you're starting to get a bit frustrated in regards to no event. We're talking about 2 different ways we can go in regards to getting a result for you as soon as possible, and the pros and cons, I guess, of those options. This all eventuated from a little training session me and Mark had not too long ago that always stuck with me. You gave us a few options on what to do in regards to a property not meeting the market, and I'm more than happy to let you guys know. So the first step you guys or you told me, Mark, in regards to what to do is to pick the landlord's brain. A property's been sitting on the market now. You haven't seen much love. Maybe it's the open home numbers haven't been as much as you might have wanted. You've got no applications, stuff like that. It's what to do carrying on. Now, it's not as simple as just simply dropping the price a couple, I guess, of 20, 30, 40 bucks, just to spike some interest. It's really about picking the landlord's brain, understanding where they want, what their direct needs are. Some landlords can afford to have the property sit on the market for a bit longer. Some can't. And it's really just about finding that sweet spot. So I'll pass it back over to you if you want to explain exactly how you explained it to me. I thought it was absolutely on the head. We can get the ball moving.
So I guess it's the profile of the landlord, isn't it? I guess you got to work out which landlord you are. And some landlords are just so fixated on the dollars. Some are so fixated on just the property not being vacant. But what's interesting is some landlords miss the actual point, whereas it's the amount of time the property is being vacant also is a number as well. So a landlord, so let's use a figure of say 600 a week. It's like, I want my 600 a week. I want my 600 a week. I do not care if an offer comes in for 550, 570, 580. I want my 600, but then it's vacant for 4 weeks or it's vacant for 6 weeks. Now, if a property is vacant for 4 weeks at $600, there's $2,400 over the course of the year that you're not going to get as a landlord. So there is an interesting relationship there where there's time versus money with rentals, and it's weird because it's almost like an ego thing, or it's like, I just want to know that I've got my 600 a week. And sometimes that happens. And we say to landlords, look, that's fine. Like, if you just want to chase that dollar, don't worry about what you're putting in your actual pocket over the course of the year, but just chase that 600. That's cool. It's interesting. Is it an ego thing though? I don't know. Or sometimes some commercials are a bit different because it's valued on that figure as well. But we are talking about residential today.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a tricky situation. You really just got to pick your landlord's brain, understand where they're trying to come from.
Yeah,
Look, like, and our job as the agent is to do our best to try and explain how this kind of works. How there's kind of two different routes you can take. Like you said, the priority might be time. Some landlords might not be able to afford having the property sit for 4 or 5 weeks. They've got mortgages to pay off. They've got bills to pay, stuff like that. So you might have to sit down and have that conversation. Say, listen, we haven't seen very much activity at the current price. The market's currently reflecting a different price. If it was time that is the priority, I suggest dropping the price. However, if it's that $600 mark that they are looking for and won't budge, it's that price that it's going to have to stick to, regardless of it staying vacant on the market for a few weeks or not.
yeah. And it does go back to, I always have the conversation with a landlord. There's the 3 Ps: price, product, or promotion. They're the reasons why a property won't get rented. And I think that if you just tuned in this morning, we're talking about, I want my money landlords. At the moment, there's particular properties that in the marketplace that haven't been rented, sometimes due to the agents being closed for a 1, 2, 3 week period, sometimes due to other things. But price, product, and promotion are the famous 3 Ps we always talk about with our landlords, also sellers, but with our landlords. And just to dig down on that, is it the price of the property is not selling, not renting? Is that why? Do you have to reduce that to meet the market? Is it the promotion that's lacking? Is there obviously a signboard in the property? Are there good quality photos, good quality copy on the property? Or is it the product? Does it need carpet done, paint done, and things like that? So I think even before we open up to having that conversation with the landlord, the access of time versus money is probably the first conversation as a landlord you should have with yourself, or an agent should be having with a landlord.
Definitely so. Definitely so. It's just stuff that'll save you so much time down the long run if you know where your priorities are, and you can make them clear to every party involved. It really just does save time. Sometimes when landlords are a bit unclear with us, and with all parties involved, it leads to some time wasted, some back and forth communication that's required. Whereas if these conversations are had off the get-go, maybe as soon as you've hit that first speed bump in regards to a slow open, stuff like that, then all parties involved can become updated, and that all parties involved can then work towards achieving the described goal.
So if there's any questions, guys, throw them at us. We are a live show. Charlie, this is a difficult conversation to have with a landlord.
Look, sometimes it is very awkward. However, I've always found that I'm going to be in more trouble if I don't have the conversation rather than do have the conversation. It can definitely go worse one of two ways. If the conversation isn't had, the property sits on the market for ages. Nothing's done about the price, nothing's done about the property, nothing's done about the promotion, as you stated before. And those landlords are in a position where they can't afford it to sit for a few weeks. It's a whole different storm of
They come
mess.
out punching.
They definitely do, and so they should. However, I've definitely become more attuned to sit down and have this conversation a bit early on when I've got a bit of doubt in mind. It always just puts all parties at peace. No one feels like they've been left in the dark, and the landlords can be assured that I specifically am working towards their best interests, and with their I guess preferability at heart.
And you know what conversation I love with a landlord? I love putting it like this. Say the property hasn't rented for a week and it's asking 600 a week. And you've got a good feel of what the prospective tenants are saying, thinking, what's been renting in the market. We love options. As people, we love options and we hate having no choice.
Yeah.
Right? We hate it. It is awful. And this goes back to the training we were talking about before. So when you're having that conversation with the landlord and when you're saying, look, if you want to put you're asking 600 a week. If we want to adjust the price and meet the market and put 550 on the property, I reckon you'll have a result in 24 hours.
Definitely
if you want to put 575 on it, I reckon you'll have a result within 3 to 7 days. If you want to leave the price where it is, we may get that 600. We may not get that 600 over the next couple of weeks. That makes it really palatable for a landlord because you're thinking, hang on a sec, what do I want? Is time more important? Yeah, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to put it at 550 and just slam dunk it and get it done in 24
Definitely
hours.
so.
Well, hang on a sec. You know what? I don't give a shit. I just want my 600. And that's perfectly okay. But you know that there's going to be a little bit of a waiting game potentially, and potentially there's not going to be a pot of gold at the end of it. So you sort of, so I think that makes a landlord feel like they're in control. It's a more powerful position for a landlord to be in because they're making the decisions on their destiny. So I think
Definitely
today,
so.
in summary, the I want my money landlord, if you are one of those landlords or if you're an agency or you're sort of trying to read that type of client, I think that gets into the psyche a little bit of some solutions of what can be offered.
Definitely so. Definitely so. And just touching back quickly on what you said earlier, look, you're exactly right. We do love options as I guess humans, as social creatures. The quickest way I've found to annoy a landlord is to just say, look, this is what's happened. This is what you should do. At the end of the day, it's
forcing it down their throat.
Look, it just doesn't come off right. It just
Well
like
said.
as educated as you think you might be, it's their property. As you said, it's them wanting to be in control of their destiny. They're obviously forking out huge cash and mortgage for the property a week. So they want to know that. They want to know that there's strategies in place. There's stuff they can do to I guess get their desired outcome rather than just having A equals B, B equals A. It doesn't come off right. I've found.
Awesome, buddy. Guys, we hope we helped you out there with the I Want My Money Landlord, how to understand what solutions are available out there as for landlords. And have a great day, mate. Welcome back to work on your
Thank you.
7 days of
isolation.
holiday.
Look,
ISO holiday.
ISO holiday. Look, it's been nothing less of painful, and I'm back to be back. I'm glad to be back. Sorry.
Do you know what? If someone said to you, "I'm gonna force this upon you, and it's gonna make you a better person," and it was your decision, you probably would have enjoyed it. But when it's not your decision, and the government comes along and says, this is what you must do, that's when it really sucks.
Definitely so. Look, if someone jumped on me and said, "Here, take a 7-day holiday," I'm all ears. But if someone goes, "Here's a 7-day holiday, but you can't speak to anyone else in the world, you can't leave your room," I'm gonna maybe take another step back and consider my options a little bit. But nevertheless,
mate, the gamers would be loving it.
Oh, the gamers would be loving it. Unfortunately, I can't call myself
locked in with a PlayStation in your bedroom.
I had to dust it off quickly over the week, but it didn't get much love from me.
Funny. Mate, thanks.
Not a worry. Well, take care, everyone, and I'll speak very soon, Mark. Thank you for the show.
See you, legend. Cheers. Bye.
Bye, everyone.